Have you been feeling ripped off when you go to the store lately?
Some of the products that you're picking up off of supermarket shelves are definitely worth looking at twice.
You may have noticed you're still paying the same price, but getting less of it in the box.
Those boxes have really shrunk in size.
It's a way for companies to save money, hoping customers don't notice.
I used to really like Chick-Fil-A's breakfast.
What can I get for you today?
Sorry about that.
Thank you. A 4-count chicken mini meal, hash browns, and an original iced coffee. I still like Chick-fil-A's breakfast, but just not as much as I used to. I like it less because of this. You see this? This is about 5 inches, or about 16 ounces. This cup 3 months ago was 20 ounces and $2.65. Now it's 16 ounces and $2.85. Do you think I wouldn't notice Chick-fil-A? At first I thought this might just be a Chick-fil-A price gouging conspiracy, but it turns out companies all over are doing the exact same thing. It's called shrinkflation, and it occurs when companies shrink the size of a product while maintaining the current price, or sometimes even increasing the price. Now, just for a quick refresher on how regular inflation works. Inflation is where things get more expensive over time. Why does this happen? Well, basically, Jerome Powell and the boys over at the Federal Reserve sometimes are just like, you know, there's just not enough money flowing around. And then they just think about, well, what can we do? And one guy stands up and he's like, let's just make more money. We can literally do that. We can just make more money. Excellent idea. Everybody wins. But you know, sometimes companies don't want their products to cost more because then, you know, people like wouldn't buy them?
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money!
But they have to find some way to offset these costs, and they're not gonna take the hit themselves. So what do? Enter shrinkflation. So this term was initially coined by the economist Pippa Malmgren. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. It basically boils down to this whole theory around net price versus net weight. Or another way of putting it is, say you buy a product very frequently. Are you more likely to notice if that product changes price or if that product changes size? Most companies have bought into the idea that size doesn't matter.
Let's go!
But don't think the consumers have been duped by the corporate trickery. There is literally an entire subreddit dedicated to changes in sizes of all these products. The godfather, though, of shrinkflation watchdogging has got to be my man, Edgar Dworsky. I mean, I swear, I could not find a single news clip or article where this guy's name was not mentioned or he wasn't just in the video. He's been blogging on his website, consumerworld.com, about big cereal's corruption for years now.
So the price has stayed affordable, if you will. Single roll Charmin today, it's like a toy. My hand covers the whole package.
Can you tell which is which? This one's taller, so I would assume it has more.
Consumers are price conscious. They would notice if the orange juice went from $2.99 to $3.19. Then in 2003, they took out a full cup. And then in 2008, they took out another cup. Wait a minute.
It kind of reminds me of when Fauci was the head of the NIH before COVID and no one really cared who he was or even knew who he was. And then post-pandemic, he's doing White House press briefings and he's doing TikToks with Jacob Sartorius.
I had a couple questions about the vaccine. A lot of rumors about, you know, phones sticking to arms.
Boy, if you don't get...
Dworsky's big word of caution is to pay attention to the net weight of a product. While you might not always be able to detect differences in sizes between products, net weight will almost always tell the full story. I think my favorite instance of shrinkflation was this interview BJ Novak from The Office did on Conan, where he compared the size of these like chocolate Cadbury eggs and how they've like subtly changed throughout the years.
I gotta say, those Cadbury eggs, that seems like a good product.
I buy my Cadbury eggs this year. They are
they feel smaller than they used to be. But I said, okay, then I went on the Cadbury site just to check. It says on the front page, no, they have not gotten smaller, you've gotten bigger. Okay, I have stashed away Easter candy for years, you know, for the course of the year. I must have somewhere. I must have a Cadbury egg from previous year. This year's Cadbury egg, not the mini egg, not the mini cream egg. This is this year's egg.
Yes.
This is the egg from a couple years ago.
Look at that!
Judge for yourself, America.
Corporations have tried to spin this a few ways. They've tried claiming environmental reasons.
The change, they say, is all about creating consistency and standardization across these cereal products. This, they say, quote, allows more efficient truck loading, leading to fewer trucks on the road and fewer gallons of fuel used.
Some said they were innovating packaging. And the spokesperson for Charmin even claimed that due to innovations in toilet paper, people were able to wipe more efficiently.
Yeah, I'm Charmin.
Listen, so the bottom line is corporations are evil, sneaky, greedy. All they want is your money. We should abandon consumerism altogether, go live on a farm, have a little tribal community, all make fires together, and it will be great. Just kidding, that sounds terrible. I would never want to do that. But I guess what I'm really trying to say is, Chick-fil-A, can you please just change this back to 20 ounces? I mean, 16 ounces is just too small. No one wants to pay $3 for this. Thank you.